This is Trend Following Radio, where great thinking comes alive. Nobel Prize winners, legendary traders, best-selling authors, and the pros that know what drive us irrational human beings. I am your host, Michael Covel. Not filtered, raw, honest. That's my passion. Guess what? New book, out right now, out in the last 1 week. The title, Trend Following Masters Volume 1, Trading Conversations, by yours truly. Volume 2 comes out in the summer. It's Trading Psychology Conversations. No beating around the bush. I'm obviously a trend following homer. So if you want to get yourself into the mindset of those great trend following traders, those up and coming trend following traders, understand their beginnings, their process, their mindset, this is a book for you. Of course, it's a book inspired from conversations on this podcast. So if you enjoy this podcast, buying a book helps to support my motivation to keep me going. So please check it out. I think you'll be happy with the purchase. So beyond the content, it's going to look good on your shelf. And to get into that trend following headspace today, a little bit of a text-based debate that I had with a friend on Facebook. This friend is a very fine writer. He is a very smart trading guy, but he had a quibble with trend following. I will read his comments, my comments, his comments, my comments, the back and forth. Now, I should say this conversation between my friend and myself came from a post made by Tom Basso. And Tom was actually quoting the dedication in my new book in a post, and Tom was saying how much he liked it. What is that dedication? The dedication in my new book is as follows. To all those hopeful investors and traders who think it's possible to predict tomorrow, please enjoy this kick in the ass. So that's my dedication. The conversation I'm going to read now came from, again, Tom posting that dedication. My friend says, I've always had a minor quibble with the idea that trend following does away with predicting where the market will go. By adopting a trend following strategy, the speculator is making an implicit prediction the market will continue, allowing for some jiggle in the equity curve in the direction indicated by whatever trend measure and system rules determine the current position. The trader is making a prediction that the trend indicator and the rules of the system which follow it will make money in the long run, even though maybe 60% of the trades made by the system are losers, because he predicts the smaller number of winning trades will have larger profits than the higher number of losing trades. It's a different sort of prediction, but it's still a prediction. I replied, but a certain number of markets do continue. The distribution is well known. Isn't trend following just capturing that distribution over a wide group of markets? ? Maybe those outliers disappear one day. Not yet. My friend replied, of course. And so when one acts on a trend following system, one is predicting that the distribution will remain more or less the same. I replied, a new word is needed for your point, meaning prediction, in my opinion, doesn't work here. My friend replied, the fundamental prediction trend following makes, poetically expressed by Ed Sakota, the trend is your friend till it bends when it ends. That is, I predict my friend the trend, identified by my particular trend identifying method, will continue in the direction of the trend to my profit. At some point, I predict and I'm prepared for the trend ending, and I will follow the trend indicator in the other direction. I replied, trend following returns don't just happen from following one market alone. And of course, there are reasons these returns exist and persist. My friend, and I'm speaking for him, appears to be using the mindset that there are many different types of, quote, trend indicators, and that these indicators all predict what will happen next. From a trend following perspective, that's not what we are doing at all, in my opinion. In my opinion, over a diverse group of markets, we're trying to capture that distribution. Now, on the other hand, in the predictive technical analysis world, which I originally defined in my trend following book, many people believe that there are these, quote, trend indicators that predict what will happen next, whether it's candlesticks or RSI or whatever they use. The idea that when this happens on a chart, the trend will continue. That's a very different mindset than trend following. Extremely different. The nature of markets includes outliers. Trend following is hunting for these outliers. If you adopt a trend following strategy where you are taking an entry indicator, like a momentum indicator, as my friend says, 60% of your trades are going to be losers. So if the typical trend following indicator that gets you in is a simple momentum indicator with a 60% failure rate, I don't see the prediction part there. What I do see is trend following applied over a wide group of markets, that a certain distribution exists. And that happens because, for example, in the futures markets, there are hedgers. There are corporates that use these markets, use these futures markets for their reasons, for their corporate reasons. On the other side of the coin, taking the risk on, are trend following traders, speculators. This nature, this give and take nature, this give and take between the two sides of hedgers and speculators has existed for a very long time. It's the nature of markets. And I think it's really, really important to stress, and I did in my responses to my friend, that this is not about one market alone. So if you have a, quote, series of predictive technical analysis indicators, those will supposedly work on whatever market you're looking at. It doesn't make a difference if your portfolio has many other markets in it. Because once you have the predictive technical analysis mindset, which is not trend following, once you have that mindset, okay, here's my indicator, I will use this, and then I predict the market will do this, whatever one market I'm following. That's not trend following, and it's a terribly important distinction. And I think it's also worth beating the drum here that when it comes to, and again, I lay this out in my book, Trend Following, two forms of technical analysis: predictive, which is what trend following is not, and reactive, which is what trend following is. But here's the fun part. Let's assume that both of these strategies work, even though that's not the case. But let's assume both work, that you can find these predictive technical analysis strategies. Let's assume this is true. Okay, where are the practitioners? Where are the track records? Where are the names? Where are the, quote, turtle traders? Where are the Bill Dunns? Where are the Larry Heights? Where are the Tom Bassos? Where's the John W. Henrys? Where's the AHLs? Where are they? Like, where are all those names in the predictive technical analysis world? Where are they? Where are the examples? They don't exist. They do not exist. Now, they exist on Amazon in innumerable books. They purport to tell you that if you use this indicator, it predicts what will happen next on this one market. Where are the professionals that do this predictive technical analysis? Why are they not in my new book, Trend Following Masters? Where are their track records? The track records that came long before me, long probably before you, are the damn proof that there's something going on here. That when you sit down and you look at a whole series of trend following track records, going back over 50 years, across dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of practitioners, and I'm guaranteeing you there's a lot of practitioners that I've never heard of who don't want me to know about them, who've done trend following for even longer. But that's where you can really get the learning. It's one thing to have these debates, like my friend and myself were having. Sure, have the debate about predictive technical analysis whether trend following is predictive, whether you can predict on one market alone. But when it's all over, find the data, find the details. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to my friend. Find those track records. I will guarantee you that if you sit down and you immerse yourself in trying to figure out what a trend following track record means, for example, why does this particular trader make money in January, lose money in February, lose money in March, make money in April? And why have 5 other unrelated traders done the same type of thing? I mean, the curiosity in you should start to be connecting the dots, uncovering something, having your aha moment. Again, don't listen to me. Just get the damn data on your desk and look at the data. And when you finish looking at the data, you're going to say to yourself, well, this is great. This is the trend following strategy that Mike is describing, reactive technical analysis. And then you're going to say to yourself, well, where the hell is the data for all the other shit? Where's the data for the predictive technical analysis, the candlesticks, the et cetera, the et cetera? Where's that data? If you have that archaeological mindset, that digging mindset, to go ahead and uncover, to pull apart, to understand how something really works, to get past the public debates, you're on your way. Because at the end of the day, if all you got are listening to the public debates, if all you have are the words and you don't have the freaking understanding, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. You're just one of those people that's going to turn on CNBC and some dipshit 1 minute is saying one thing and some dipshit the next minute is saying the polar opposite. And then there's some host who's saying, we got both sides today and it was a wonderful day. And, back to whatever, it's mass insanity. I can promise you the best in the business, the people that have made the home run money, the people that have made the buy the sports team money, they don't think like that. They did exactly what I'm telling you today. They looked around and they said, who is doing this? Where is the data? Let me believe in the data and then let me go try and do it. Because the markets are always going to be here. They're not going away. And they're too big. So it's not like you have to sit back and say, oh, there's too many trend following traders. I can't do this. That is one of my favorites too. I'll get that question from people. Well, what happens if there's too many trend following traders and they're all following the same system? And then, I read something on the internet about turtle soup and you just watch their brain exploding into, I don't know what, jelly. I mean, how in the world can anybody, and I know what this turtle soup idea is, but how in the world can anybody with a straight face, decades after the quote concept was introduced, how can anybody with a straight face, after looking at nonstop trend following returns for decades upon decades upon decades that have never stopped, how can you sit there and actually believe that somehow or another trend following is stopping? Now, I made the point to my friend. I said, maybe the outliers disappear one day. Not yet. For trend following to die, the entire economic system has to die. Markets have to die. And the crazy, get rich, greed embedded in the frontal lobe of Homo sapiens, that has to die. When do you think that's happening? It's not. And guess what? We're reloading every year with new people that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. And they are completely open to being sold by the latest talking head on Bloomberg and CNBC. So there's always going to be an unlimited supply of people who want to lose their money with bad strategies. And that will invariably create bubbles. And if you have a strategy predicated on finding an outlier in a large group of markets, which is what trend following is, that's not a prediction. That's what trend following is. That's what it does. Then you're going to have a winner. You're going to have a nice life. You're going to have some freedom. So all I ask you is keep a critical eye. Dig in. Think. Don't just trust. Don't trust me. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust my friend. Trust but verify, as Reagan said of Mikhail Gorbachev. And I should share, years ago, I did meet Mikhail Gorbachev at an event. And he actually knew something about my book, or someone had told him something about my books. He was retired, but he was quite inquisitive. And there was a translator. So it was the whole game of I say something, it's translated. He says something, it's translated. And then he asked me in Russian how I figure this out. I'm paraphrasing. He asked, how did I figure out what I'm telling you today? He asked me that in Russian, and they translated it to English for me. And I gave the answer back quite quickly. And I said, I'm very good at digging. And Gorbachev started laughing. No translation needed. So the whole translation thing was a dog and pony show. He got the joke. So if you believe me that trend following is not about prediction, and you want to further your educational process right now, go pick it up. Go pick up Trend Following Masters Volume 1. It's available everywhere. And the audiobook is coming. I received note the other day, the guy I work with in my audiobook, something went wrong with his voice. Maybe COVID, the flu, I don't know. So it's going to be a week or two late, but the audiobook is coming. But this is the mindset you got to have. Like I told Gorbachev, you got to be a digger. You got to dig. Don't trust anyone. Go dig for yourself. That's the way you're going to have a nice life. I see a time when those awake will understand how to make money in up, down, and surprise markets. Whether new trader or experienced, college student or financial advisor, protecting against a crash or just trying to make a lot of money, Trend Following offers everyone an answer in uncertain times. To get started immediately, send me an email, michael@covel.com. I will send you the right trend following steps to take along with my free video. But if you want to buy and hold, trust the government and trust Wall Street, this is absolutely not for you.